What's up, everybody? Today, how are you doing? This is Blackfire coming at you with another video. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a little bit because there's so much confusion out there. You're getting so many leaks and so many rumors. Oh, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be a current gen game. Oh, I know it because of the money situation. Oh, it's a financial thing. They have to put it on current gen consoles, right? Well, I'm here to kindly set the record straight on this and tell you and confirm through information that's been given to us from Rockstar themselves that this next game will not be a current gen game. Anyways, let's get on to the video today. The first thing I want to talk about here is an interview that happened back in October 3rd of 2013. Now, this was right after the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, right? And it says in the, it's an IGN, they posted it, so it's official information from Rockstar. And it says, GTA 6 and beyond. Rockstar has 45 years worth of ideas, right? GTA Online is just the start of something new, okay? And as we know, GTA Online has done very well. And to the point where it's done so well that, that's pretty much been your current gen Grand Theft Auto game. And yes, again, I know it's really not the current gen game because it doesn't have next gen, it doesn't have current gen graphics, it doesn't really have current gen textures or a current gen size of a world. But your kind of current gen Rockstar game has been Red Dead Redemption 2, right? It took them 8 years to develop this game. And, in this point in time, they have been working on Grand Theft Auto 6, right? And you'll see as I go on into this video why that's the case and why it is that, them saying that they've had 45 years worth of ideas is very integral and telling to what Rockstar is trying to do with Grand Theft Auto 6, right? And we've been waiting for, I think it's 7 years now. At least 6, right, at the very least. And we know that it took them 8 years to develop Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's a long time in between development cycles. But to do everything that they wanted to do, what they could do with the hardware on Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's kind of telling that they're moving on to next gen. They're not creating Grand Theft Auto 6 on current gen consoles. And again, I'm here to kind of verify why this is the case. Okay, so in this same interview it says GTA Online is Rockstar Games' focus following the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, but the studio is already brewing on possibilities of Grand Theft Auto 6. It says, and I quote, "We've got about 45 years worth of ideas." This is Leslie Benzies, and I know he's not with the company anymore, but anyways, we want to do. Rockstar president Leslie Benzies told in the interview, he said, "We don't know what Grand Theft Auto 6 will be, but we've got some ideas." Now this goes back to the saying, we've got 45 years worth of ideas. Okay, this is when he was asked about current gen. This is back before the PlayStation 4 came out. Grand Theft Auto 5 had just came out, right? It says, by the end of GTA 4's development cycle, Rockstar had started conceiving what would eventually become Grand Theft Auto 5. But development proper wouldn't begin for 2 years after Nico Bellic's debut. Benzie said, "It comes from the idea first. Where is it going to be set in the first question. Then that defines the missions. You're doing different things in LA than in New York or Miami. The map and story gets worked up together, and the story is a basic flow of how it works out, so you can layer the missions in." Okay, pretty much what he's telling you here is the game is already thought out in advance. They're already, conceiving ideas. They know what they're going to do. They're conceiving what they're going to do, right? And as you'll see, their plans for Grand Theft Auto 6 goes much more beyond what you can do on a current gen console, right? And as you see, as we go along further in this video, there's a lot to talk about. But anyways, moving on to the next piece of information here in the same interview, and Leslie Bensley's still talking. Just waiting for it. Okay. Alright, same interview. Benzie also said Rockstar considered a trio of characters for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which tied into its 3 separate cities, but it didn't work from a tech point of view. Okay, this has got to do with the point of the fact from the PS3 they couldn't do these things, right? And they didn't. You notice they didn't implement these things on the PlayStation 4 because the game was already created and they couldn't add these things because why? It's created for that console. Anyways, but it didn't work from a tech point of view. The 3 characters need 3 times as much memory. In other words, you need the memory to do what they were wanting to do. 3 types of animation, and so on. Alright? GTA Online launched to some significant issues this week. Anyways, that's old news. We know this. But anyways, the point of this here is to tell you this. From a tech standpoint, you cannot make a current gen game fit on, you can't make a next gen game fit on a current gen console. You have to know what power level you're going for. And obviously, when you got, they've told you they got 45 years worth of ideas, 45 years worth of things they want to do. You cannot achieve this on a current gen console. A PlayStation 4's memory, they've pretty much tapped it. It's pretty much about as far as you can go, and the Xbox One's even worse. Right? So if you want an experience, and you know, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013, right? So it's really a last-gen game. It really is. It's not a current-gen game. And sure, it was ported to next-gen consoles, but let me explain something here. When you're talking about next-gen, you're talking about better graphics, you're talking about the gameplay becoming better, more possibility of things you can do. You're not just talking about better frame rates and a little more tessellation. You're talking about major things that needs to be implemented here on newer technology, on newer hardware to be able to focus on the things you want to do. Okay, and then they telling you in another interview, okay, Rockstar wants to put all Grand Theft Auto cities in one game. Player could fly between them and revisit their favorite areas. Okay, now this is why this is significant. Rockstar is telling you, look, what we want to do. We want to put all of our cities in one game. Okay, and that tells me that the very big possibility from them going from the PlayStation, you know, just completely missing the PlayStation 4 generation, saying, look, we've already had Grand Theft Auto Online's done extremely well. They've made plenty of money off of it. There really isn't any point in trying to scale down a game for another, you know, when another generation of consoles are right around the corner. And including that this game won't even come out until at least a year after the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is on the market. So again, I'm just giving you facts here. These are things Rockstar is telling you. They're telling you from their own point perspective. This game will not be on a current gen console. It will not fit. And you know, and there's a lot of other factors here. And, you know, a lot of people, their assumption is because, well, Grand Theft Auto 5 was on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, so why is it that you can't fit what they're trying to do on a current-gen console? You just can't. It's not possible, right? And as we go along in the video, you'll see why it is that you have to go to next-gen. You know, they've kind of tapped the console. They have 45 years worth of ideas that they want to do in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto 6, and you'd have to scale that increasingly down to fit on a current gen console, right? So why not just skip to the next generation? It doesn't make sense to release a PlayStation 4 version of this game that's going to completely cut off everything you could do if you just waited for the next gen, right? Okay, and like I said, you will have an install base. By the time this game comes out, you will have a huge install base. The PlayStation 5 will sell exceedingly well, $450, and I've said this before. The PlayStation 5 will be $450. The Xbox Series X will be around about $500, maybe $550. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you'll have an install base. And also, Grand Theft Auto 6 will be a console seller. When they reveal this game, and I very much believe they will, when they reveal the PlayStation 5, at least the console itself, they probably won't reveal the specs, but they will at least reveal the game. They'll reveal some details of what next generation can do, right? And again, this is all next gen. And, you know, I cannot emphasize enough on the word next gen. The people think that you can just scale up and down like a yo-yo, and it doesn't work like that. You really can't scale a game like that. It's either you start from a low spec point, then you only have so much you can do, right? But when you go to next gen, you have so much more possibilities of things you can do. This is common sense. right? So you have to start from that point. Okay, let's go to our next article here, right? Okay, Rockstar would eventually like to create one Grand Theft Auto game with all previous cities from the series. In an interview with Digital Trends, Rockstar North head Leslie Benzie said he envisions players being able to travel back and forth to revisit places they've explored in past games. Of course, at some point we would like to have one world containing all of our cities, and let the player fly between them and revisit their favorite areas, Benzie said. In that context, reimagining Vice City would be very interesting. On the subject of Vice City returning as a future setting, Benzie said, it is always a possibility. There are a few references to the city in our current gen GTA, so it's obviously part of the HD universe, and it is certainly somewhere we would love to revisit. However, Vice City, perhaps more than any other GTA game, was as much about the era as the setting. Miami in the 80s is so iconic it would feel strange to revisit the city in a different time period, right? So here's the thing. They're telling you, yeah, it would be strange to revisit the city in, 2020 as opposed to 1980s, and we've heard reports telling us that they would probably go, and I would assume that even if they put, since Miami will be in the game, Vice City will be in the Grand Theft Auto 6, that it will harken back to, the 80s, at least in one point in the game, and then it'll go back to modern times, right? So my assumption about this is again, they're telling you they want to put 3 cities in their game, and I believe 100% that that's what their goal is for Grand Theft Auto 6, right? So anyways, let's move on to the next point of what I'm trying to make here, which is again going into next generation and the difference between a current gen and next gen. Okay, here's a Game Informer interview that was taken back in 2014, right? This was before Batman Arkham Knight came out. Now this is an interview Rocksteady. It says, the aim when making the Batmobile for Arkham Knight was to make the game the best game ever, right? Sefton Hill, game director at developer Rocksteady, told Game Informer magazine, the car alone takes 160 megabytes of memory or thereabouts. Art director David Hego added, it will fit just about in an Xbox 360 if that was the whole game. It's very next gen. It's the only vehicle Batman will use in Arkham Knight, but it's integral to the experience as Batman's cape, burnouts, jumps, boosts, circle rotation. The Batmobile can do it all. It's bulletproof, armor even lets it smash through barricades. And right. Anyway, side note, it says basically nothing stops the Batmobile. Anyways, that's not important to what I'm trying to make here. Let's see. Anyways, what they're telling you here is the game is so much more sophisticated that there's no way that they could put this on an Xbox 360. The game itself, the 160 megabytes of that memory that the Batmobile takes alone is so big that if you put that inside of an Xbox 360 game, that it wouldn't fit. Right, like just the Batmobile. Now that's not the whole game. That's not the atmosphere. That's not the whole environment. That's the whole Batmobile. That's the whole game. Right? That's crazy, and it tells you one simple fact. Right? It says again that Rockstar is not trying to make a current gen game because it won't fit. This game will not fit on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. It just won't do it. And it won't support PlayStation 4 Pro, and it won't support Xbox One X. I'm telling you now, it won't happen. This game will be a next-gen only game because of the size, the scope, the graphical level, the physics, everything. It won't fit inside of a PlayStation 4. And again, I keep saying, why is it so important that we go to next gen and we don't stay too long in current gen? Because once you go to next gen, you will see better graphics. You will see more than just better frame rates and resolutions. Now, if this tells you anything, it confirms that what I've been saying. You cannot put a a next gen game inside of an old console, but you can take make a game from a lowest point possible and then port it. Now you can do that, but again, scaling doesn't work the other way around, and I know that's what people try to tell you. But this interview, this Game Informer magazine right here, what Rockstar says, Sefton Hill, a director, tells you it's not possible. When you're moving to next gen, you got to kind of move completely to next gen. It's not challenging moving to next gen. The real challenge is making sure you're getting the best out of the machines, said Hill. Obviously, you see a lot of games that are cross-gen and they feel a bit reined in because of that, okay? There you go, what I've been telling you. Because we were able to make that decision quite early, we were able to be more ambitious with the design and make a real genuine next-gen game, and that's a side note on that. Hence, the new open world of Gotham City, which will be split into 3 islands. It's 5 times the size of Arkham City, apparently. We're not trying to create the biggest open world game ever, Hill added. We're trying to create a really rich, vibrant, dense open world. Characters in Arkham Knight are much more detailed. Textures, polygon counts 3 to 4 times higher than Arkham City. One character is as big as the polygon count of Arkham City. The whole environment, said lead character artist Albert Falou. Arkham Knight has 3 to 4 times the number of thugs active than Arkham City too. Crowds are number up to 50 people. Apex cloth physics has been integrated for Batman's cape, among other things. He'll have a new suit, incidentally, with new toys and abilities, but don't access it until a little way into the game. Anyways, that's all I got to say. That's all that's important about that article. Anyways, like I said, with the side note, we were able to be more ambitious with the design and make a real genuine next-gen game. Okay, again, this is important. They're telling you that there's no way that this game would fit inside an old console. Okay, what does that tell you? They're not being handcuffed to old technology. They're able to move on with current gen technology. At the point in time, it was new. It was the next generation. And they said, look, we're not going to stay handcuffed to that technology, because when you do that, you can't really move on to the next gen. And I know a lot of people have you believe that, but it doesn't work like that. It's either next gen or it's not next gen, right? And when you cannot scale a game like that. It doesn't scale up to down. You can go from the lowest common denominator to the higher common denominator, but you can't go from the higher common denominator to the lowest without, it's just the way it is. That's the way game development works, and any developer will tell you this, right? Again, when talking about Grand Theft Auto 6, the game just simply will be so massive. Everything about it will be so big. The structures, the environments, the graphics, right? Everything is going to be so big about this game in next gen that there's no way it will fit into a current gen console. Anyways, I've told you all this because it's important to understand this, right? A lot of people keep trying to sell you on the fact that it's not going to be a next gen game. It's going to be a current gen and next gen. No, it's not. I promise you, this game most likely will hit around 2021, probably, in between 2021, early 2022. Right? We'll get a reveal earlier this year. We'll get a reveal sometime. But this game is going to be massive. It's going to be huge, right? Okay, you see this right here, right? These cars, they're real cars, right? And the reason why I put this in here is to show you what next gen will be capable of, right? And what next gen will be and what it's telling you, right? These are all real. This is real cars here. This is real stuff. And we want something that looks like this, right? We want to play a Grand Theft Auto game that looks like this and has these level of graphics and details, right? Instead of again, real car. We want stuff that looks like this. We want to play games that have these level of details, right? That's what we want in a Grand Theft Auto game. Well, this is Grand Theft Auto 5 right here, right? And it looks good, don't get me wrong, it looks good, but it's not next gen. You might get a little better than this on a current gen console, but it's not going to be that much. But when you go to next gen and you really start honing in what next gen can do, then this right here is going to be minuscule. anyways, I want to finish this video here. I want to say thank you guys. If you like my video, please please slap a like on it. You guys have a great day. I'll see you next time. I'm out. Bye.